G'day and welcome to another Sustainability Stories podcast with me, your host, Scott Poynton, where we seek to inspire change for our planet. And we want to go back today. I want to bring you back to the discussion around biochar. I've done a number of podcasts recently about biochar, but this is one where I want to bring you to a wonderful small village community in northern Ghana, a village called Nakpatua. And I had the privilege of going to Nakpatua in November 2021 was the first time I went there, met the farmers there. It was a great experience. And then we started a project there to grow bambara beans in February of 2022. And by June 2022, I'd been to the community a number of times and just developed a great relationship with the people there. And to my wonderful surprise and honour, they decided that they would like to make me a chief of their village, which was an incredible honour. I'm very grateful to them. And they gave me a wonderful chief name, Malivinar. And I'll talk about that in another podcast because I'm going back to Ghana and to Nakpatua community in November this year, November 2025. But I was there in June and we were setting up biochar research trials. And I've spoken a lot about biochar, so I'm not going to go into the great explanation of it here, but just to say it's basically like charcoal, but instead of being made with wood, we're making it with agricultural waste. And we've shared it with the farmers and set up some research trials. And the idea is to demonstrate for the farmers just how helpful the biochar can be in holding water and holding nutrients on their fields so that the plants can be more resilient in the face of climate change where the rains are coming less frequently now and also the soils are quite degraded with poor nutrients. So biochar is a wonderful thing. The farmers can make it themselves and we were there in June to set up these research trials. And so after a day in the field with the farmers, as we always do, we went back to the community and we sat around under the meeting tree. And the farmers like a chat. And so we had this chat. And I find these experiences with the farmers to be very beautiful times where you can just sort of sit there. These are salt of the earth people, desperately poor people. And the chickens come around and the kids come around and, the women and men are sitting there. And you're having a bit of a chat after a day in the field. And I decided that I would record some of the discussion because I wanted to bring you the farmers' voices. I wanted to share with you, rather than me going on about biochar like I am now and in other podcasts, I wanted to share with you the questions that the farmers were asking and their thoughts about it. And we understand that this is at the start of their biochar journey. And we have distributed biochar to their fields. In this interview, some of them had put it on their fields, some of them not yet. And we have a discussion with the farmers. And I've got two wonderful colleagues, Shahaban and Ibrahim from Pond Foundation, my foundation that works in Ghana, doing the translation for us. So we go straight into it where we are listening to the farmers speak in response to one of the questions, and then it gets translated. So I want to invite you to nestle down, get a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and come with me to Nakpatua community in northern Ghana, where we can hear the voices of the farmers speaking about their thoughts around their fields and biochar and what it could bring to them in improving their livelihoods. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, nothing some shaku bukata. I will mirror swelling your ship. Domila Kula Salama, Tenini Yavanabo, Tenava Sang Tumtuma. In Yarin Yeship. So she cut the song Kubukata put. This song Kubukata na. The Vilvia de Bofia, Tenya. The man found it to be the cat, Tenlania. Now I tell of some Kubukata Mangona. Tina yelled yet to her. Tongue by here.
He said, to be honest, they have barely no idea about biochar until you introduce it in this community. So for them to say much about it, they probably might be lying. Maybe if they tried and get the results at the end of the season, then they will have more experience to share about it. Basically, that's what he's saying.
We've established the trials today, and some of them were able to come and see what we're doing. Do they understand what we're doing with the trials?
So yamanga de tuanguna tenye yen ten yarga ten mixilwa kun tama yo bayo kema mandi bambinama dan kat zam mixitaw yargale kato bar kawanma sanna so dan ko nan ka de tan kar non fin ya kali dan ke lo siam de dambal non de Biochar so diten non kat zam competa nya ten yarga Biochar sheba den le non garde pi so na ko ni shamba.
They have been with us since we initiated the project, and they are keenly observing and learning. And what we did on the field today, they have seen that the field sizes are the same, but with different treatment. We've mixed Biochar with manure, we've mixed Biochar with NPK, and we have control where we didn't put anything, just to test the potentials or the nutrient level of the soil, and maybe the impact of the Biochar at the end of the season. So they have learned a lot from today.
And we look forward to seeing how the corn grows now that the treatments are there, and we can see, hopefully, the differences in the different treatments. That's what we hope will unfold. And back in January, when we visited everyone, we said we would give some Biochar, and we came with the truck and gave some Biochar. So every family has 2 bags, I think. Not so much. But what will they do with it? They will put it on their vegetable gardens, or what's their plans to use the Biochar that we bought from Paga?
Inda titi Biochar. Tuna bazanga tunguna. Batamuna bazanga tunguna. Mamati hagbomani de. Tiyan zanga de mambindina. Gaptawa. Nzamba kana ko kawana me kati nzamba. Mania na go shaka yero. So kamaloni ma nzamba bakawa. So mambon na mambindina ma lantawa. Zanchanta bakawa. Mane ne tiyan no shamba.
My father here is responding. Now for him personally, he is gathering manure, and he wants to mix it with the Biochar since it's not much.
Yeah.
Then apply to his cornfield.
Yeah.
That's his response. But he knows that individual or each of them have a particular crop that they want to put it there.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about the ladies? Are they going to put it in some of their gardens, or their vegetable areas? What are the ladies going to use some?
Okay. Have you heard?
She said she farm okra every year, and that's where she intends to use the Biochar when she's planting the okra.
Okra, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And any other lady?
Tenda nye kulintama. Tenda libo konko. Ama kawana ni kama yen na bujina ba. Isan chanta ba. No sana ba mi tenda bo konko. Kawana na katre mayamba.
She has not plowed her field yet, but she has the plan of mixing it with manure to apply it on her maize farm. But she has not plowed the field yet.
Not plowed yet.
Yes.
Ya manon gablo shama do jelpa. Do zo am jasle shama. So that ma mende no binama. Dan kat yen nang pasala mazo. Galo tabal dan janta bahta mana. Do atenen tayaka nam bashama dan mali yapa zo yelanga. So to gba ma puna. To gba so fi wi na tanang laka. To banzira wata nang zen yela titi.
This woman is saying that among all the treatments, her favorite is the one we mix with the manure. And she intends to replicate that on her field.
Wonderful. Can I ask, is anyone nervous about putting the Biochar on their field? Do they worry that it could negatively impact their crops?
The jam kan kata zele. Tomato pun bahala de no bina de bon koro bina ta purna. Ka kwara. Karmata de alafiya gara kunin shi tambe bahro. To no dum mata alafiya kan wa mata ka ta fa. Dum tumen sama gabta ba. Sai sama gab bon koro ma bina ma. Na sam ba kana ku ko wa. No tempo no la to nyere barna shi. no to tell no one go come barna se to tell.
For him personally, he thinks that there is no one in this community who will be nervous about applying biochar. Especially when you look at the manure aspect, they've been applying some manure, small quantities on their fields, and it is helping them even more than the inorganic fertilizer. So with this one, and with the little experience they have observed, I'm sure with the charcoal burning after that, when you plant crops, they've experienced it to be a positive impact in terms of crop productivity. So he personally doesn't think there will be somebody among them who will be nervous to apply biochar.
So man, no kwen yeshem yalango. Temende magana tetumi yu, te kulutum yu amata zon yu matamba. Ojin zan bimbiana intitite. Dinso ba kiyama te be zeherle. So den la bian yala de la kulm balansa yuma. Katen nangli bimbinama shabyan katen nang bimbinama myoke. So a kulbe nang bimbinama myoke. Kabah de konko de nya din nang bi bimbinama kar kunyala kaen nang myoke. Den na met moko.
He said, you are not a stranger in this community. They have been working with you for some, if not long, but almost 3 years or more now. And you've never brought something that is a nuisance or useless to them. And they don't expect you, they don't even think of that. Now you bring something that is not good. But he has a question. Now that everybody is talking about mixing the biochar with manure, does it mean if you apply the biochar alone, you won't get any benefits?
So what we've seen when we did the Biochar trial and also the corn trial is that you do get benefits just with biochar. You do. We've seen maybe you get 20% to 30% more yield with biochar because it holds the water. And if you put manure, it also holds the nutrients. So if you put biochar alone, it'll hold the water and the plants will benefit and your yield will go up. If you put biochar and manure, you get water and nutrients. And we've seen that the yields go up a lot. So we encourage, if they can, to use the biochar and manure. But if they just want to try biochar, also interesting. And then because the key thing is, now that we are teaching them how to make the biochar, they can make biochar every year. And the really powerful thing about the biochar is that it doesn't go away. Like when you put the NPK fertilizer, chemical fertilizer, it's gone in 3 weeks. The biochar will be in the soil for 1,000 years. So every year as they put more, it'll increase the quality of the soil. So we're starting a journey this year, many years' work to increase the life in their soil. So it could be really fascinating to see what happens.
Nyaka yo kurla de biochar kulmu. To tenme ntia sheba ngo shapon ba de konko bomba kurla. Ba mi kurma man de kurma de le mai swe.
He was at the field, and what he observed is that we actually crush the biochar before applying. And he saw us mixing it when it was crushed with the water. Some have already applied without crushing. So what is the disadvantage with that?
I think it will be okay. I think it will be okay. I think it's better to crush it because it can spread more evenly. Because the baobab biochar that we made has quite a lot of big pieces. So it will spread in blocks across the field. Whereas if you crush it, it will cover more of the field.
Exactly.
So that's the only reason. I don't think it's a problem because the water will be here. Let's say you put a piece, let's say you have a piece of the baobab biochar, like one piece here, one piece there, and you put your corn here. The roots will go to it. It will hold the water, So the roots will go to it. The roots will go to the biochar. I don't think it will be a problem. I would recommend to crush it, but let's see. It'll be interesting to compare the fields that did crush it with the fields that didn't crush it, and we'll see. They can compare together. There may even be benefits of not crushing it because it will be a big sponge holding the water, and when you crush it, you make it into smaller pieces. So I think it's okay. We don't know for sure, but let's see. I think it will be interesting in November when they harvest the corn. The guys who've put the big pieces, if they pull the corn out, it will be interesting to see if the roots have gone around the biochar. It might have gone around the biochar. So when you pull out the roots, you might find a piece of biochar with all the roots around it. That would be really interesting to see.
Ni tile pan karnya le ma fa ni be de ko me kana na tom yete ya ni ti bale ami tambe se ho ne te bale karne no be kar kunno kama yen ya de kazel ho de mi abor ho ne wula ay kab dar mal bu in so ka kana ta ko ne bane ay burban bele de biya wuyen biya ko akwa hebiwo ti sta ne ma ti sta pan kar himna min wo san bi sha ti to ma ti san le bre ti san be ka bre benjiro de na fa na tite de mi hay ka elen pi sadle nta kuru salama yele ka de ka bre de biya wuyen biya ko de ne ma ka to pam kar himna min afa na biya na
Ask them two sensitive questions. Whether they are nervous about applying the biochar and whether they think it will have harmful impact on the fields. That cannot be possible, because when you even set fire in the farm, where you burn the wood, when they plow there and you plant a crop there, it grows very well.
Yes.
And it does very well. Same way applies to when they burn, after burning charcoal and you plant crops there. When you get to the field, that particular side, the crops looks very healthy, and the yield is very good. So they don't doubt, they have no doubt at all.
I think it's going to be great.
Yes.
I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
We're excited about it. And there's our best farmer, best woman farmer. Right? She won the competition for the best woman
That's
farmer.
okay.
Yeah. Number one farmer. I can't remember the number one man farmer, but I remember her. Okay. So thank you so much, and well, let's see if they can grow some bambara for us, and we'll see what happens. But otherwise, I come back in November to harvest the trial. So there you go. That was my wonderful discussion with the farmers in Nakpatua community, and I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope that you got a sense of just the richness of their voice, the sounds of the village with the chickens and the phones going off here and there. It's always just wonderful to spend time with the farmers out there, and with great support from my colleagues Shahaban and Ibrahim with the translations. And I look forward to sharing with you later in another podcast the farmers' feedback on how their biochar fields have performed during the season. Let's see how they've gone, and we've got our fingers crossed that they'll produce some great yields for the farmers. We'll see some success. But more about that later. And once again, I hope you've enjoyed this lovely trip with me to Nakpatua community. Thanks so much.